Hello everyone, I am Blackbeltginganinja, you can call me BBGN or Black Belt, and this is the greatest parkour game ever made, Mirror's Edge. BBGN! I'm joined on the couch by my two commentators.
Hello, my name's Odger. I also run Mirror's Edge. I think I was 1 second ahead of him on the leaderboard once, so I'm just going to rub that in whenever I can.
I'm Steve TV Online. I do not run this game, but I am super stoked to be here.
Yeah, here for the vibes. Mirror's Edge, we're going to be doing an any percent speedrun. It's going to be full of lots of tricky skips, huge glitches, and probably a lot of deaths. So just to keep things interesting, we're going to be doing a death-based incentive. Every death I take, the couch is going to donate $10 together. I'd like if the crowd could keep track of that for me. So when I die the first time, you'll shout 10. The second time, you'll shout 20. Let's practice. So the first death.
10.
Second death.
20.
Yeah.
40-second death.
Oh, they got it.
Nice.
That was pretty good.
Now I want to hop into this run. There's a big skip right at the beginning. I don't know if I should go for it. It's a little bit hard. It only saves 2 seconds. What do you guys think? Woo. Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Time starts in 3, 2, 1, go. Huge skip right here. I'm going to skip the training.
Let's go.
Oh, right now, here's the big skip.
Nice.
Audrey, you want to explain the kick glitch?
Oh, I would love to. So in Mirror's Edge, one of the core movement mechanics right away you're going to see is him jumping in midair by kicking. Oh, he kind of messed up.
And that's what happens when you fail a kick glitch.
Yeah.
10.
10.
Good job, guys. Keeping you on your toes.
Yeah, so when you kick on, when you're running on a wall, you have a 1-frame window where you can spam the jump input, and if you do it right, you'll get a double jump in midair. You can chain those together pretty much infinitely as long as you have walls to run on, and that lets us parkour through midair, like in pretty much every level in the game.
Yeah, it's the bread and butter, the soul of Mirror's Edge speedrunning is the kick glitch. Here's two coming up right here. We can use that to cross huge gaps like this, and also, like Audrey said, to gain lots of speed. Thank you, thank you. The other big movement tech in this game is the side jump boost. So side jumps are an in-game dodge mechanic that let you get to full speed instantly. It's just sort of an exploit where you use that dodge mechanic, you turn toward the dodge, and I can use it all over the place. Anytime you see me swing my hand across the screen, that's a side jump.
So one thing you did notice with Black Belt was jumping into the door. If you just go up to it casually, there's like a long animation of Faith, the main character, opening up the door. So doing anything but actually interacting will actually open it up a lot faster.
Yeah. And you will actually see periodically
Little death there, that's okay.
Ready?
20!
You guys are on the game, I appreciate that.
You will see him kind of rub up against walls periodically. You'll see it again later in this level here. But the third core mechanic of movement in Mirror's Edge is called the wall boost, right there, where he rubs up against a wall. He's spamming the jump input as he's touching it, and that's giving him a lot of extra speed, and we do that kind of all over the place. You also can chain any of these side steps, kick glitches, and wall boosts together and do like a bunch of crazy chains of movement and just generate tons of speed. So
yeah, I have jump down to scroll wheel down, so that's how I'm consistently hitting the kick glitch. It's a 1-frame window, but with jump down to scroll, it's really easy. And then similarly, I'm using the scroll wheel to do those wall boosts at max speed.
yeah. And we call this the Arnold Schwarzenegger skip, where we get to the choppa and end the first chapter.
Audrey, you want to explain the story as we wrap up Prologue, go to chapter 1?
Oh gosh, I would love to. I think there's a story to this game, right?
Hey, we skip all the cutscenes, it's hard to tell.
So fun fact, Rihanna Pratchett, Terry Pratchett's daughter, was involved in writing the bulk of this game, and Terry Pratchett actually wrote the terms and conditions for this game, little known fact. So you are a parkourist, DoorDasher maybe, I'm not sure. You kind of travel around the city, currying banned information by the dystopian government. It's really the only way that citizens in this world can communicate with each other without being eyed by the evil big brother that oversees everything. And yeah, your sister gets framed for a murder upcoming. We're kind of going to skip the cutscene in a second, but your whole goal of this game is to free your sister and save the world, and yeah, we're going to do that through
unravel a whole government conspiracy. Speaking of which, there's guards here that are going to try to stop me, but as long as I don't look at them, they won't kill me.
I mean, they're basically stormtroopers.
They basically are. As long as you don't look at those guards, you can skip past most guards in the game, either just by not looking at them or just going pretty fast.
Yep.
Speaking of going fast, first out of bounds skip coming up. I'm going to go inbounds here, and then that'll deload the level, and I'll go now out of bounds, essentially. With a kick glitch wall boost on this invisible wall, I can land on this invisible slide. That's the first big out of bounds skip. It saves like 15 seconds. Let's go.
I promise you there's a slide there.
You guys know Mirror's Edge 101 now. You know kick glitches, wall boosts, side boosts. I'm going to be doing all of those in this upcoming section. I'd love to throw to donations while you guys just enjoy the movement.
All right, we have $100 from VanMan229. I want to see those mole slippers, which is our old school RuneScape bid war. And it looks like Fancy Boots has actually taken the lead since we last checked in on that. And it's got a quite comfortable lead too, almost $100, wow. We have $50 from Nick Does Voices. Me? Gongaga. Wait, wrong game. Let's get that Power Wash Sim DLC. And checking in on that, we have just a little bit over $2,000 to go. So let's get that Power Wash Simulator bonus DLC level.
Super excited for that. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
Another instance where the guards are not too much trouble. I can just jump over them, which is nice. I'm going to try to get out of bounds here. If I jump into the corner of this elevator right as it starts going up, I can go above the elevator. This is a loading screen. It's an audio cue. I use the audio cue to know when to pause. The moment the loading ends, I get a 1-frame window to jump. I use my free scroll mouse to hit that consistently. I'm now out of bounds. Now there's an invisible floor here, thankfully. An invisible wall and some invisible death barriers. If I time everything just right, I can skip later into the level. Oh, okay. Really unfortunate. That death is pretty common. That skip is my nemesis. That counts. Good job, guys. But that's okay. There's only one chance at that skip, so we're going to take the backup route, which is in a lot of ways more interesting. There's some cool stuff that happens in this route that I'm excited you get to see. For instance, the developers left a little area here that prevents you from taking fall damage. So I can just kind of zoom right over to it, land in that area. This whole area is supposed to be scripted and cinematic, so they put that there. The scripted cinematic section goes away, so there's not many more instances where I can skip fall damage, but that's a cool little one-off. Ooh.
Yeah, I think that other skip, we call that pedestrian skip, so I think this is called pedestrian skip, is that right?
It's a skip that loses 40 seconds, but something like that. Wall boosts are really cool here. You can do a double wall boost on the same wall or using 2 different walls as well. Like Audra said, we can chain together movement. Basically, until we hit the ground again, we can keep gaining speed. If you are a European or otherwise a kilometer enjoyer, you might like to know that Faith runs at 26 kilometers per hour. She jumps at 30, but those wall boosts and kick glitches can get us up to even 70, 80 kilometers per hour over the course of the run. So they are super duper fast. One last kick glitch to end the level here. And we are done with chapter 1. On to chapter 2.
Clean.
Very clean. Chapter 2 is probably the scariest chapter, and it starts off with one of the scariest skips. This skip is called Taco Noli. We used to have a skip here called Cannoli. Of course we did. But then a runner named Taco has found a way to skip that, so now we have Taco Noli. Taco Noli uses an in-game mechanic called reaction time. Every time I use reaction time, the game slows down. I technically lose 5 seconds. Casual players will use that to time tricky jumps. I will use it to make this skip RTA viable. I need to get out of bounds here. And I'm out of bounds. And now I need to do invisible wall boosts on this wall. If I time it perfectly with max speed, I can do a kick glitch on this wall, into the void. Oh! Really unfortunate.
Right at the end there.
Right at the end. Yeah, that counts. I didn't technically die, but I'm going to allow that one.
that was a death.
I did quit out and reload, but I'll count it.
I think if you wait like 3 minutes, you'll die out there, so.
Yeah. I'm gonna go for it one more time. Like I said, it's really tricky because you need precise camera manipulation. It's not just about when I click the buttons, it's also about having the right angle and being able to react. So it's quite tricky. It's laughably easy to get out of bounds though. I'm out of bounds again, which is part of the reason why we like doing this game so much. Let's try it one more time, folks. Wall boost 1, wall boost 2. Ooh, a bit of an early kick. We're gonna go one more time. So what happens now is that I've lost my reaction time. And reaction time is kind of silly. The faster you run, the faster the reaction time refills. I really need this reaction time. It simply is not viable to do it without. So I'm gonna run around and just sort of zoom across this area for a little bit until my reaction time comes back. This is the fastest thing I can do here, which is kind of silly. I'm gonna go for it one more time. If I don't get it, we're gonna take a new route. One more time. Okay. See if the checkpoint hits in the bottom left corner.
Yes.
That is the newest skip to Any Percent. That was found in 2023. It saves 15 seconds over the old version and like a minute and a half. So Getting it at that rate probably didn't save time, but it wasn't about the time save, was it? It was about the swag.
Yeah, so coming up here, this is the storm drain sections, one of the most vertical sections in the game. But there was actually a new skip that was found here not too long ago either. Let's see if he can get it.
Oh, so unfortunate. I'm just kidding, I fooled you. That does count though as a death, so. But that death was to set up this skip. Watch this. Woo! That skip is called a fling. Flings in this game are super sick. Audrey, do you want to explain them for a sec?
Yeah, so honestly, I don't know them as well as some of the people that are playing and on the cutting edge right now, but basically, you die, and wherever your Y coordinate was before you died gets stored in the game. And it only gets reset when you jump. So because he didn't jump at any time after dying, his Y coordinate is preserved until he took the springboard. And that messes up some calculations in the game, and it flings him upwards and makes him go wee.
Yeah, if you're a programmer, you use the last jump location to determine how high my wall run should be. But by dying, I screw up that calculation. And then as long as I do an animation cancel, like a springboard or a swing pull, I can keep that funniness going and use it to fling to places I shouldn't be able to. I spent a lot of time explaining this because there's another fling coming up, and I want you guys to be in the know for this one. So I am going to take another intentional death. Yeah, it's for charity, folks. Now, this is really precise. I'm going to take a second to line it up. And more reaction time, because it is that precise, but it's oh so cool when I use reaction time. Watch this.
Let's go.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I love that skip, and I love that reaction time is the setup for it. It's sick.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite skip in the entire game. I love that fling.
Another elevator clip here. I'm going to walk into the level while it loads. This section is called The Chase. We're chasing a guy called Jackknife who has information about my sister. This is Jackknife. He's about to load in. Say hi. Wait, there he is.
Nice.
Hi.
Thanks, guys. And now we're going to be trying to skip a lot of Jackknife's chase sequence here using a skip called Chase Chain. Chain refers to the term kick glitch chain. It's really uber spooky because if I fail literally any of the kick glitches, I'll die, but let's go for it once.
Let's go.
Ooh,
Oh, well,
grab the ledge.
Oh. Yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go. Yeah, that is such a hard skip. Any of those kick glitches that are touching a wall, if you don't do them absolutely perfectly, you wall boost instead of kick glitch, and that just kills you, so.
Yeah, the scroll wheel is a double-edged sword. I use it for kick glitches, but then I also accidentally wall boost with it sometimes, so the game's fading out for me, so I'm going to quit and reload to reset things, and luckily that actually puts me ahead in the hallway, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, there's also a kind of an invisible skip or glitch that he did there called the use glitch, where if you spam the interact key really fast while you're touching an interactable object, you can actually do it without using the animation at all. And he's spamming it so fast that he makes the elevator go up super fast there as well.
Yeah, there's a really weird thing in this game where the faster you do the use glitch, so if I free scroll an object like that, the animation speeds up, and it's pretty much directly correlated, so the faster I can spam it with my free scroll mouse, the better. Now, Chapter 3 is another interesting chapter. Every checkpoint in this game is labeled. They go up by letters, so there's checkpoint 3A, 3B, 3C, and 3D, for instance, in this game, in this chapter. We're gonna do 3A to 3C skip. Can you guess what that is?
Does it mean that we go from 3A to 3C?
Oh my God, Steve, you're exactly right.
Oh, yes.
Very creative name we came up with for that one. We were really in the lab on that one. 3A to 3C used to be one of the hardest skips in the game. It's still pretty darn hard, and it's kind of run defining. It loses a lot of time if I miss it, but it saves like a minute and a half, so it's worth doing. I'm out of bounds now, or if I'm not out of bounds, arguably now, I definitely are out of bounds here. I'm gonna use reaction time one more time here to try to time this. I need to do a precise wall boost on this wall. That leads into a kick glitch on this wall, and one more wall boost into the void. Lucky for me, there's a checkpoint sitting in midair. Let's see if I grab it.
Yes.
There it is.
Nice.
Nice.
You'll notice that I quit and reload. The level won't actually load in until I quit and reload. Really, we're really lucky that out-of-bounds skips are even possible in this game. The moment you start a level, all the checkpoints load in. So then, as long as you can grab them early, you can do huge sequence breaks like that. Here's another section where I think we can just enjoy the movement. Let's throw out a donation for one or two.
All right, I'm going to check in on that Final Fantasy VII DLC level because that run is coming up right after this one. We have just under $2,000 to go to meet that incentive. So remember to apply that incentive to your donation on that page. Let's get that incentive. We have $25 from B. Wait a second, this isn't the B movie game.
I have the B movie game world record as well, very prestigious. Maybe they'll let it in next time, we'll see. They won't.
We have $25 from Sparky, who just sent me the Curse of Ra and a whole bunch of hieroglyphs. And as someone who doesn't read Egyptian, I'm not sure I can really get those across. So just imagine a whole bunch of hieroglyphs. I don't know how you did that in our tracker, but it's there. Good job.
Oh,
Oh,
a little death there. Let's just quit and reload to reset things fast. Yeah. Audrey, you want to explain this checkpoint?
Yeah, so this is the last checkpoint of Chapter 3. There's a very hard kick glitch that once upon a time was the most difficult skip in this entire run, but we've gotten a much better setup for it before. We call it a speedy kick glitch, and we're going to get across a large gap using it. Speedy kick glitches are not just called that for fun, it's because they actually give you more speed, and what he's doing here is a very precise lineup.
I do not think I got it.
No,
Oh,
I don't-
maybe.
maybe?
yes!
Nice.
That was sketchy.
Yeah, that was really close. It's very easy to fail that, even if it looks like you're at the ledge, sometimes you're not quite there. What happens there is he gets to the edge of a building, and as Faith steps up onto a ledge, she gets a little bit of like Y movement, Y axis movement,
I don't know.
and that converts into horizontal movement, and it gives you more speed, so.
Yeah, really cool skip there. That saves like 25 seconds. It used to be uber precise, but yeah, reaction time makes that kind of free. Speaking of big skips, Chapter 4 has another big skip here. Actually, one of the biggest in the run and one of the first ones we ever found. So I'm going to jump up here and fall down, apparently. Totally meant to do that. Over here, there's a nice little corner of a wall that I can jump on. And then I'm going to slide to my death. You guys can queue up your little number. 1 second. So by tab buffering, I let the level load in. There it is. There's the death. And now that the level is loaded in, this isn't one where I need to quit and reload. They actually spawn me in the void, and luckily the level is nice and open for me. They leave a gap for me to run in. There's another cycle skip I'm going to try to do here. There's actually 2 trains I'm going to try to get the cycle for and skip. If I get it, we get the skip, and we call that 2 trains.
Come on.
That's train number 1.
Okay.
Sweet. The cycle is a little bit RNG and a little bit loading based, so GDQ is nice to supply us great PCs, which makes this a little bit harder, which is a little silly. With that fall, actually, it's probably going to miss the cycle now, so we're going to get some exciting train dodging in the tunnel here. I'm going to use glitch this button.
Yeah, might get jump scared here, just a warning.
Yeah, the train is going to beep at me to try to warn me that it's coming, so if you hear a beep, just tell me, I'll jump out of the way. It's not coming. Where's the train? I'm spooked. Oh, there.
Oh, there it is.
That was a very late train, wow.
Hi, buddy.
You almost made that.
I did almost make that, despite having a horrendous janitor room, so. Goes to show, sometimes the RNG is in your favor. Who would have thought? We're coming up to the end of Chapter 4. Chapter 4 ends with a nice little auto-scroller. I know this game has been pretty dense with lots of big skips, so it's nice to have a minute to actually rest my hands a little bit. I'd love to throw to donations for this next minute of the train ride.
Yeah, definitely take a break and rest your hands there. This looks very intense. Amazing platforming there. Checking in on the Final Fantasy VII DLC, we have $1,750 to go, so we're definitely on the way, but we still have a ways to go there. We have $25 from Indie Alex. If Blackbeltginganinja has only 2 fans, then I am one of them. If he only has 1 fan, then it's probably his fiancée and I died doing something stupid. Keep on running, my dude. We have $15 from Echo Tree. Good luck on the run, cheering you on from my couch at home. And speaking of couches, we have $50 from Lucky on the back couch. I am on edge to see Black Belt run Mirror's Edge, but I have faith that he'll succeed.
I'm so happy for Echo to donate.
Thank you, Echo. Thank you,
Yay.
Alec. Thanks, everyone. Love hearing the community pitch in. I'd like to give a shout out to my community. People were donating to help me get here. Shout out to Curation. She paid for that shout out. Really happy to be here. Really excited to be showcasing Mirror's Edge. I've been running this game for 10 years, so it's been with me a while. We're in Chapter 5 now. Chapter 5 starts with a skip. Land on this invisible wall. You guys saw that there, right? And then this invisible wall leads to another kick glitch past these guards here. As long as I don't walk into their trigger, they just stand there and let me through. They're very kind. Let's throw out a donation for one more donation before Chapter 5 gets dense. There's a lot going on in this one.
All right, then. I do also want to quickly mention our Hatsune Miku skin for Alex. We have raised just a little bit under $2,000, and that is a $20,000 incentive. So definitely keep an eye on that one as well, as we have that one coming up fairly soon. Cool. We have $7 from Eris. There are some legends on this run, huh? Thanks for showing our game to the world. Much love to you all.
Thanks, Eris. I've got a skip coming up here. This is loading dependent, so I've set up a setup for the GDQ computer. When that pops in, I start running forward. The moment the loading ends, I get a jump. And then I have to do an infinite wall climb between these two walls. Perfect.
Nice.
There we go. Another instance of cool movement, hopefully. You can chain a sliding wall climb into a kick glitch here, if I don't mess it up, which I did. So we're gonna do a little backup strat. Now that we're down here, we can just do a kick glitch across the gap. This is where I would have landed, but we made it work. Lots of backups on backups here.
Yeah, the nice thing about Mirror's Edge is like you're supposed to kind of pick your own route to get through these levels even casually, so you have a lot of opportunities to make stuff up on the fly.
And actually, the casual ones, you're seeing all these, like this red that's in the game. That's usually the route that people would casually take if you're playing through this game.
Yeah, the game likes to mark where you're supposed to go with red. I mean, from a mechanical perspective, it just helps to navigate the player, and then from a lore perspective, you're like a runner and you can see the parkour path through the city and everything is red, so that's why that helps you. There's a few instances, for example, where the game will mark, say, a springboard in red, and then you can use that springboard to get higher and progress through the level. The cool thing about springboards is that there's actually a ton of places in the game where you can do a hidden springboard. Any two pieces of collision that are set up like a staircase can be used as a springboard. There's a little hidden springboard coming up. I'll point it out in a second.
Yeah,
Here's an intended springboard, though, for example.
Yeah, I was about to say there's a hidden springboard coming up soon.
I spoke of the sliding wall climb earlier. If you wall climb with horizontal momentum, you can get height and speed. That's one example of it. I was trying to chain a sliding wall climb into a wall boost there, but my angle is just a tad off. That's okay. Run over here. There's a hidden, and when I mentioned the hidden springboard, you can see the intended springboard there, but the hidden springboard is much more convenient. Pair that with a wall boost and you can cut the corner.
Yeah, so we're coming up to the mall section of this game here, and story-wise, we found an assassin who killed a guy who we were trying to talk to, who had information about our sister, and who set them up, and we're going to meet them in the mall. But unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, we're going to skip all of that.
Yeah, the cool thing about the mall is there's a skip called, well, it's a technique, actually, that we employ in the mall. The technique is called the beamer. Whenever you wall climb over a surface, normally instead of making you drop the wall climb if there's a bit of collision in the way, the game just sort of lets you wall climb over it, unless you hit the Q turn right when you go over the collision. There's a frame perfect trick. We love the word frame perfect here in speedrunning, which means I have 1/62nd of a second to get it. There's a meme in the community to count how many beamer attempts it takes. Let's see how many this takes. Audrey, you want to count for me?
3, 17, oh, no, sorry, 2, 3 times.
Oh, yes.
Nice. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that beamer launches you away from the wall. That allows us to skip basically the entire mall, which is really sick. That skip saves so much time, and the alternative is so slow that, like, as long as I get it within 18 tries, it will save time. So I'm not too worried about 4th try beamer. That's A-okay. Coming up to the end of the mall here, there's a little bit of movement here and a little bit of waiting around as I trigger the end of the level. So why don't I throw for some donations?
All right, we have $50 from the janitor. Who broke down my office door? I just got those locks replaced.
Sorry.
Oh, now I gotta get a new lock. We have $25 from Rocket Racer. Hello, everyone. I'm Scott Half-Life, president of Half-Life. Have you heard of Hatsune Miku? Today, I'd like to announce a new collaborative project featuring Hatsune Miku, Half-Life 2 Race featuring Hatsune Miku.
Thank you for the donations. I appreciate it. Everyone, keep donating. Keep donating. We're raising money for a good cause here. That is Chapter 5. We are on to Chapter 6. And You've never heard this one before. Thank you, thank you. You've never heard this one before, but there's a huge skip at the beginning of Chapter 6. They were very nice in putting a skip here. First thing I need to do is, of course, get out of bounds, and they make that frighteningly easy, to be honest. So first thing I'm going to do is run over to the staircase. I'm going to do something called a glide, where I use the collision here to glide out of bounds, land on this or not. I did it for charity. That one is totally on purpose. Let's run it back, y'all. So if I jump over here again, that little lamp is actually the perfect height. If I do land on it, which I definitely will this time, it is the perfect height where it'll prevent me from dying to the next fall. There it is.
There we go.
Nice, first
Now
try.
I can fall, first try. Now I can fall out of bounds easily. It doesn't look very out of bounds until I walk into the void again. Luckily, again in the void, they were very generous in putting a checkpoint here for me. I get a little stuck in the collision, but as long as I wiggle my mouse real good, I can get out of the collision and skip right into the factory section. Speaking of the use glitch, you can also use glitch through walls. So I'm gonna do a use glitch right here to activate the button through the wall, to skip having to go around. Another piece of tech coming up. Normally when you fall a long distance, you die. Whoa, shocking. But if I grab a pole right before, jump over here, if I grab a pole right before I land, I can actually reset my fall height and survive falls that I otherwise couldn't. Another example of use glitching real good to make that elevator go up faster than normal. The cool thing about use glitching as well is that every time you use glitch something, the sound effect stacks, which is going to become really obvious in this elevator in particular. Let me just use glitch this real quick. A nice bassy elevator ride for you as the sound effect stacks on itself like 30 times. Story-wise, the conspiracy we're unraveling is that the cops have been learning parkour. These are parkour cops that have been trained to hunt us down. This is a parkour training facility for said cops. They're kind of a nuisance. They get in the way sometimes, and they have tasers that can slow you down. But for the most part, like most guards in this game, I can just sort of run right by them. They're not too much of a threat.
They realized that they weren't that good at shooting guns, apparently.
And so they learned parkour, the only way to deal with the threat of runners.
Ironically, I think even as bad as the regular guards are, I think they still have a higher chance of killing you than these parkour guards in a speedrun.
I would say so, yeah. We got one more nice section of clean movement through this hallway. Let's throw to donations for one or two.
We have $10 from Willow and Reese's. Good job, Dad.
That's my cat and my dog. Thank you, guys. I don't know who gave you access to a computer, but that's so exciting.
Look, if a dog can speed run, they can donate.
That's true.
We have $25 from Adam the Feverish. Need to see that bonus FF level in Power Wash Simulator done quick.
You can do one more.
We have $25 from Sheik. I love anything Final Fantasy, so I'm excited for today. But I've been loving every game I watched so far. Oh, and trans rights.
Trans rights.
Chapter 7 has a skip that I'm going to go for once for the fans. Never gotten this in a PB before, but it'll probably go fine. Oh, something's happening.
Wall boost, wall boost.
Let's go. Yes. That is called boat chain because they kick the chain in the boat section. This is the boat. The level is called the boat. Luckily, the first checkpoint is outside the boat. There's 8 checkpoints, maybe 5 or 6 in the boat, and then the last checkpoint's outside the boat. Here's the last checkpoint.
Yeah.
So we're going to complete the boat level without stepping a single foot in the boat, which is very, very fun. There's now a boss fight coming up, and I use boss fight very loosely. This character on easy difficulty requires 5 hits, so I'm going to give them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're done. That's Chapter 7. Shortest chapter in the game.
So would you call this the boat?
Oh, that's something,
Wow.
Steve.
That was fantastic.
We'll put that in the workshop, see what happens.
Okay.
Chapter 8 has some really nice movement as well. We're going to start by trying to avoid some of those parkour guards. As long as I do some nice slick movement and I don't lose any speed, I should be able to sneak right by them. They just need to cooperate a little bit and not tase me, which they didn't. Another instance of manipulating my height using wall runs. If I do a double wall run into a kick here, I can lose just enough height with the kick glitch, so I don't need to roll here. The rolling mechanic is just the sort of mechanic you would use casually. You fall too far, you do a roll, and that prevents you from getting a hard landing. I want to avoid those rolls if I can because I want to stay at max speed as long as possible. So getting to avoid the roll there is a nice little 1 second time save.
Yeah, pretty much any time we have an animation programmed into the game ahead of time by the developers, we try to skip it. So he skips a door animation right there by kicking it.
Yep.
Skips button animations by use glitching, etc. So.
Yeah, and luckily we have the opportunity to skip pretty much everything, which is nice. Another kick glitch over the gap here. I did just skip a checkpoint, so I'm going to try really hard not to die here. Otherwise, I have to start the whole checkpoint over again. There is an out-of-bounds skip coming up. Pretty much the same bread and butter as what you've seen before. I'm going to get out of bounds right here. It is laughably easy. And then run over yonder to jump into this void. And there's a checkpoint down here, I promise. And that's a death. Woo! Triple digits, let's go.
Nice.
This is now the atrium. You can think of this as sort of the platforming final boss. This is the second to last level in the game, and this section is, I think for a lot of people, their favorite section of the game casually. Ooh, atrium walls, being atrium walls there.
Nice recovery, nice.
These walls are really finicky. They're just programmed a little bit weird in their collision overlaps, so sometimes you will just fall off of them for seemingly no reason. But that's okay, good recovery there. You're gonna be shocked to hear this. I'm gonna get out of bounds in just a second. This one's actually kind of difficult. The other ones are really easy. This one's a little difficult. I have to do a really tight wall climb here. There we go.
Nice.
I'm out of bounds, although it doesn't seem like it. It's going to become more obvious in a second. There you go. There's a whole vent section here where you have to walk through the vents for 30 seconds. But as long as I line this up just right, I can jump to the end of the vent section, grab that checkpoint, quit and reload, bada bing, bada boom. No need to skip that.
Beautiful. So now he's actually going to die on purpose here. This actually skips, actually it doesn't skip much of anything. It just causes...
Thanks, guys.
It causes the truck that he's going to shoot up here to have collision that spawns in early, and he can actually shoot it through the building there. You can't really see anything that's happening there, but...
Yeah, I did a little quick scope on the truck. That's going to be in my quick scope montage, and that does save like 3 seconds, even with the death, which is nice.
Just make sure you put some Linkin Park or something in that, you know.
Oh, for
some
sure.
Evanescence, maybe.
Maybe Skrillex, we'll see. I can do the little rolls here. The roll, much like the kick animation, resets your fall height, so I can use it to skip past the guards and then sort of fly into the final bit of the level. We are on the last chapter of the game now, Chapter 9. We're coming into the twilight stretch here. Chapter 9 is pretty cool. It's kind of, if that was the platforming final boss, this is the combat final boss. Combat, sort of, because I'm going to skip most of it. I'm going to do a use glitch here, and this is a legitimate headphone warning. Again, I stacked the sound effects here, and it's already a loud sound effect, so it's going to be a little bit loud. Luckily, we've got some really good audio engineers that made that not terrible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh no, look at all the guards in my way. I hope they don't shoot me when I just simply run by them.
Parkour didn't work out, so they went back to the show.
Oh, they actually did get me pretty low health, but it's fine. We're good. There's one more risky skip coming up, I would say, called Super Beverage Skip. There's an elevator with an infamous line about beverages. You have to sit in the elevator and wait for the beverage line to come. But we can skip the beverage elevator. We call that, we used to have a skip called Beverage Skip. We found a way to skip that skip. So now we have Super Beverage Skip. First thing I need to do is use glitch this. The elevator is going to open in about 5 seconds, and then I am once again going to clip it, hopefully. Sick.
Yes.
And lucky for me, they put some stuff in the air to help me time exactly when I need to pause buffer this. You can see that vent over there? If I pause buffer this just right, the vent should be in the top right corner. It's not in the top right corner, but my height might still be okay. Let's see if I load into the room. Perfect.
Yes.
That was really close.
Running a little close there, but
He took damage there, and didn't get a hard landing, so he was like right on the threshold.
yeah.
Of that.
One more skip coming up here. If I don't die, I need to get out of bounds again.
Uh-oh.
I did die.
Okay.
And instead of waiting for the death animation. Thanks, guys. Instead of waiting for the death animation, I am going to quit and reload to make that a little faster. Grab this pole and jump over here. Then I'm going to jump. There's actually a really thin seam out of bounds here. It's so thin, I can't stand on it, but I can jump on it. So I just sort of mash my spacebar to jump across this gap here. And then I skip this whole rooftop section with the snipers.
I don't
And
know
that's the last big skip, I would say. We're almost to the end here. One more elevator to clip. Let's see if I can get it. Perfect. Yay! All right. Well, we have one little out-of-bounds ride through the elevator here. I'd like to give my commentators a chance. Audrey, you have any shout-outs?
Oh, sure, yeah. I just want to say, though, like, being on top of this elevator, it doesn't look right to me. Kind of looks like a glitch almost to me, but I'll just ignore
Nah,
that.
I think it's fine.
So shout out to the Mirror's Edge community. Love everybody there. Some fantastic people. If you ever want to get involved in speedrunning the game, check out the Discord on speedrun.com. There's a link. We have lots of modders that are really actually going crazy with the game right now, making it as accessible as it's ever been.
Shout out to Soft Sound. This game has never been more accessible on PC. The Mirror's Edge Tweaks mod just hooks right into the game. I'm using it right now to improve the graphics and the sound, so you should definitely take a look. It has never been a better time. And there's a custom map mod coming out next week that's going to allow you to do custom maps. So never been a better time. Steve, you have any shout outs?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to for Black Belt for actually allowing me to be on here. Like, I formed a friendship on a different community, and he was very grateful and just say, hey, yeah, you can join. So
Such a pleasure. Thank you for being here, Steve.
Yeah.
We managed to zoom past the final guard, so time is coming up once I grab this elevator. Elevator, that's a helicopter, LOL. There it is. Time. Woo.
That was a fantastic run.
That was a great run.
that was
absolute
really
whirlwind. Thank you guys so much for counting for me. What was the final number? $120 to donate after this run. Everyone keep donating, keep watching. I'm going to be donating right after this, but I'd like to thank everyone for being here, the whole crew backstage for making this possible, my family and my friends, everyone who's been donating, my fiance Misha and Willow and Reese's. Reese's has been sitting on the corner of my bed watching me speedrun for the past 10 years, so really thankful to everyone and super excited to be here. But I think that's all I got. Let's keep this thing going. Woo!